Good evening. I'd like to welcome you all here this evening to a regular meeting of the Oak Harbor City Council, March 7th, 2017. I'd like to call that meeting to order and ask you to, or invite you to join us in an invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand, and our invocation will be led by practitioner Mia Walgren of the First Church of Christ.
Let us pray. Dear God and Father of us all, forgive our foolish ways. Remind us you don't need our help to make the sun rise and set. However, we need your divine inspiration in order to see your plan that is complete. Thy will be done, with or without us. You sent us your beloved Son, Christ Jesus, to show us the way. When pressed to choose a course of action, he would seek judgment rather than make it. Humble seeking equals finding. Open our eyes to see the good that is filling this community. If darkness threatens our view, may we quickly turn to thy word, which is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. Right motives give pinions to thought, and strength and freedom to speech and action. And God's love will inspire, illumine, designate, and lead the way. Amen.
Thank you, Mia. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have one excused council member this evening. Councilman Allenberg is not with us, but he was excused, I believe, at our last meeting. I understood that right, Nicole, correct? Okay. Number one item is approval of agenda. Any changes? Okay, seeing none. We don't have any proclamations or special honors this evening, so we'll get right into item number 3, which is our citizen comment period. Citizens may comment on subjects of interest not listed on the agenda or items listed on the consent agenda. To ensure comments are recorded properly, state your name clearly into the microphone. Please limit comments to 3 minutes to ensure all citizens have sufficient time to speak. And I've got 3 that have signed in, and if you haven't and still want to speak, we'll give you a chance when they're finished. First, I see Mary Williford. Hi, Mary. Welcome.
Mayor and council members, again, my name is Mary Williford, and my address is 2541 Southwest Peets Lane. I appreciate the hard work and dedication it must take each of you to govern this city in the shadows of a very active Navy base. We have our challenges as a city, but overall, this is a great community and a beautiful place to live. This greatness is due in part to the sheer number of service agencies, organizations, and churches that assist our community, from feeding the hungry to finding intensive support services to those in need. If I was just a little bit taller here, okay. The Whidbey Homeless Coalition's efforts to open a year-round homeless shelter are moving forward, but this is only a part of our wonderful continuum of community care. Years ago, out of the Feed the Need organization that held several food drives, came the North Whidbey Faith Network, and about every 6 months, we update a comprehensive list of community services available. I have a copy for each one of you so that you can see in part what this community is doing to help those in need. The plan for the homeless shelter is to open this spring, now that we have a 90-day temporary location at the Christian Reformed Church, which is just west of the Whidbey Golf and Country Club off of Swantown. We are recruiting individuals from service organizations and churches to serve as lead volunteers. The lead volunteer will recruit and coordinate scheduling members to staff the shelter every night. Along with the shelter manager, we will soon train these groups and individuals as host volunteers to staff the shelter for the safety and well-being of our shelter guests. I hope that each of you, through your membership with your church or service organization, or as a city council team, will attend a host volunteer training and sign up to help staff the shelter at night. I know all of you have plenty to do, but in serving the homeless in this effort, the City Council may better direct Oak Harbor resources in helping the unsheltered in our community. Thank you again for your governance of our city and your support of our community's continuum of care. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, next up is John Kemp.
I just had a question.
Come to the mic if you'd like, please.
My name is John Kemp. I live at the Oak Harbor Marina, berth C16. I just had a question that's been answered, so
Okay, thank you.
I forgot to cross my name off. Pardon me.
Thank you, Mr. Kemp. Okay, and our next is somebody that has been here before, and I believe that the last time I was served a summons. And Mike Thielen, come to the microphone. Bring your green.
Good evening. My name is Mike Thielen, 1401 Southeast Dock Street, number 101. And I appreciate the opportunity to address you all in a very formal way. That's why we've dressed appropriately. In Ireland, it's called the Day of the Festival of St. Patrick. Here, we, for 44 years, have celebrated as a parade. 1,500 years ago, St. Patrick wasn't known by many people, but somehow it spread over that 1,500 years, and it's celebrated in such diverse countries as Germany, Mexico, Russia, even South Korea, to name a few. It's the largest celebration throughout the world. I don't know if you knew that. And you've been a part of it for 44 years, where we started with, I believe, 2 people. One was hit by a car. There was such a reaction by the people, they agreed that they would have a parade the next year. St. Paddy, as some call him, was responsible for, at least in legend, driving the snakes out of Ireland. And as a result of that, in bringing this whole Ireland people into Catholicism, he's known for that. And one of the symbols or stepping stones to that was a shamrock, or a 3-leaf clover. And that was his way of explaining the 3 persons in God, which has been incorporated by many Christian religions since then. The other thing is that in a diaspora that has resulted where they were driven from their country either by religious persecution or economic reasons, they went to many places and succeeded. And I don't know if you knew this, but the parade started in America, and it eventually went to Ireland. And so, having said all that, the irony is that we've been doing it here in this wonderful town. And so we want to thank you because it's a unique citywide parade, and there's a foundation that makes it possible, and you're one of the main reasons for that. The other is the Irish Wildlife Society. The other is the Chamber of Commerce. The other is all the entries. But the key is that we have so many people that show up for it, and this year's no exception. And there's a diverse group of entries that will appeal to everybody. And so with that, it just seemed appropriate that since we're going to watch and laugh and celebrate and enjoy this break in winter and bad news, that we should summon you, right? You were probably waiting for that. I liked your introduction. So the Irish Wildlife Society of Oak Harbor does hereby summon Mayor Severns and the City Council to walk in the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade on Friday, the 17th of March. You're summoned to Pioneer Way, east of Midway Boulevard, to line up in proper order, of course, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Additionally, your attendance is required at the American Legion Hall for the corned beef and cabbage dinner immediately following the parade. This edict is presented on this 7th day of March in the year of 2017, and to seal it, we are giving you a special bead or bead necklace with a, what do they call those things? Whistles. And so my associates are going to put them around you as I bring this forward.
You said we had to assemble in the
Thank you.
right order.
Thank you.
But, okay. Like, are we supposed to know? No. Defy an order. Thank you. Thank you. I think it matches my outfit perfect.
So thank you very much.
Back to order. Thank you, Mike. Always enjoy this meeting and this opportunity. And to the Wild Irish Society, of which I am a card-carrying member, good luck and have fun and enjoy yourselves as you know how to do so well. Thank you. Any other citizen comment? Anybody want to speak? Okay, going once, twice. We'll move on to the consent agenda. It looks like we have several items, A through K, and unless somebody would want to pull one of those, we'll approve those as they're listed. Okay? Okay. We are to the mayor's comments, section number 5. Everybody's leaving. We had a pretty serious event this last week in Oak Harbor, and I know there's been something written in the paper, but I wanted to say a few things and say thanks to a lot of organizations that helped us. On March 2nd, the Oak Harbor High School received a phone call, as most of you probably know by now. That phone call said that there were explosives in the school, and the person calling also made claims that the subject that he planned to arrive at the school within a certain period of time with firearms. Obviously, the school district people and our city took that very seriously. Police officers worked with the school to evacuate the students from the school and get them onto other locations. Other schools nearby were notified and put into a lockout state for a period of time by the school district. Many valued partners, including multiple canine units, arrived to assist with this incident and assist in checking the school. Notification was sent out via email and text to residents in the area. Following this organized process, the school was checked and no problems were located, thank goodness. This was a relatively time-consuming procedure, and our multiple partners provided invaluable assistance to our community to handle this safely and effectively. Investigators are working on the incident at this time, and it appears there may have been multiple similar calls like this around the country. On behalf of the City of Oak Harbor, I want to thank our Oak Harbor Police Department, Oak Harbor Fire Department, Oak Harbor Public Works, Oak Harbor School District, Island County Sheriff's Office, Bellingham Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team, Skagit County SWAT, NCIS, ATF, FBI agents and bomb techs, U.S. Navy Security Forces K-9 Unit, U.S. Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team, Washington State Patrol Bomb and K-9 Unit, and the Washington State Border Patrol. We had a lot of help, and we can't thank you enough for helping us during that time. So, also want to announce that Tree City USA, Oak Harbor was named a 2016 Tree City USA by the Arbor Day Foundation in honor of its commitment to effective urban forest management. Oak Harbor achieved Tree City recognition by meeting the program's 4 requirements: a tree board or department, a tree care ordinance, an annual community forestry budget of at least $2 per capita, and an Arbor Day observance and proclamation. Congratulations to our amazing city for that. The Community Police Advisory Board has an open seat There's a position available there. I'd like to thank Jeff Campbell, who has served in that capacity since 2013, and his term has expired, and he wants to give others the opportunity to serve. If you are interested in serving in this capacity, please contact Nicole Tesh here at City Hall. She will send you our paperwork. And finally, I'll be out of the office from March 11th to March 19th, traveling with council members Munns, Wassinger, and Allenberg, representing our city at the National League of Cities Conference held in Washington, D.C. Please contact my assistant with any needs you may have, and I will get back to you shortly after I return. Just wanted to tell you that when we go to the National League of Cities, we have a lot of opportunities for educational classes and conferences that are held during that time. It's a busy time, and I think I can tell you for sure that our council people take that very seriously. It's an opportunity to learn, opportunity to network, and it's a good time in that respect. We also take pretty much a full day of meetings to the Pentagon. I think Commissioner Johnson from the Island County will be joining us, as will longtime city citizen here and past Commissioner Mac McDowell. So we will all go to the Pentagon on Thursday when we're back there. And unfortunately, I'll have to miss that Irish parade again, darn it. It's now a couple of years, but it won't be long and I'll be back there. So with that, I'm going to turn it to the council, and we'll start with Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I would like to thank our city administrator, Dr. Merriman, to keep the council abreast of what's going on in the city, especially that emergency bomb threat in Oak Harbor High School, and keep us updated. Thank you. Second, I have this key to the city. Actually, this key is to the main door of the city hall. Each one of us elected officials was issued this key upon taking the office in our respective position. This was issued to me January 1st, 1994. The mayor then was Mayor Al Cucci. At the end of this year, December 31st, 2017, I'm going to retire this key and give it back to City Hall. And this means that I'm not going up for re-election. I'm going to retire at the end of this year, just finish up my term, December 31st, 2017. My campaign manager, who is also Nita, are going back to private life. I'm making this announcement to provide opportunity for those seeking a position in the city council and provide them ample time to become candidates in the city council of Oak Harbor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I can't thank you enough for your service. The city has been very lucky to have you up here, so thank you very much. Okay, other Councilor Wassinger.
Thank you, Danny. I didn't get a key when I was sworn in, so you can just pass me yours. If that makes it easier for the city. I mean, save a few dollars. No, but you're an inspiration to me, and thank you for your service very much. I also wanted to talk a little bit about some youth things that are going on in this city. Congratulate our high school culinary team. I read in the news that this is the 8th time in 12 years that they've won a state championship title and are headed to nationals. I'm a sports fan, so I would call that a dynasty. I think that's really impressive, and I wish them luck and want to congratulate that group of kids. Also, coming up on Thursday is the Miss Oak Harbor pageant at the high school. A group of young ladies competing for scholarships. It's a really, really fun thing for them. And then also starting here in the next few weeks is a bunch of youth sports, soccer, Little League. I see cross-country runners. So I just wanted to let everyone in the city know that and to literally give them a break. Be aware that there's kids that are going to be out starting to run around, cross streets, and everybody just be aware and and what's going on, and keep them safe. And I wish all of these kids the best of luck in all of their organizations. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? City Council comments? Yes, Councilor Munns.
Thank you. I would stress to City Council to please look at your alert bulletins from AWC. There's some bills that directly affect the cities. And please add your comments to our legislators. It would be a big help. Also, I want to congratulate First United Methodist Church. This coming Sunday, they will celebrate incorporation of the church of 125 years. They've actually been in the community active for 168. And I think that's quite a thing. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you to that congregation and anyone that goes in and out of there. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Other council comments? Anyone? Yes, Councilor Heisen.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to dovetail off what Ms. Munn said, I want to applaud the faith community for stepping up and providing this emergency overnight shelter. You know, so many of us see a need in our community and not all of us step up to do something about this. And so when the faith community especially sees that need and steps up to provide a service for the most vulnerable among us, then they're really walking the walk. So I appreciate the example that you're setting for the rest of us. So thank you, everyone who had a hand in making that happen. My day job is I work in human services, and so I know that our Housing Coordination Center is really, really excited about that opportunity, so thank you. And a note on Thursday, the mayor covered most of my comments in my list of 15 or 16 agencies that responded. First thank you is to our students and our parents. Our parents were extremely patient and understanding when I'm sure they were absolutely petrified. And thank you, because that made all of the responders' job much easier. And also, I don't think it really matters what side of the Navy base jet noise thing that anybody is on. I think that we can all agree that having that partnership and that resource there is something that you cannot put a price tag on. I mean, we had K-9 units and EOD guys and intelligence people there within minutes, whereas we would have had to wait for State Patrol or Bellingham dogs to get there to start sniffing out the building. And to have that resource right there and ready to mobilize is so special and so important, and we are so fortunate. So thank you to NAS Whidbey for sending us everybody. All of our firefighters were on scene, so the Navy fire went and manned our station because it was empty. I mean, it was everybody pulled together and made that happen, and we could not have done that without the Navy base and its personnel. So special thank you to them as well, and hopefully we won't have to have this conversation again anytime soon.
Nice job, thanks. Okay, anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to, we have one ordinance and one resolution left to discuss this evening. Oh, that's right. I've done that before, haven't I? Dr. Merriman? Yeah. Thank you, Councilor Campbell, for helping me out there. Before we go on to our ordinances and resolutions, we are going to hear from our city administrator, and I believe we'll get a clean water facility update during that time. Dr. Merriman, sorry about that.
No problem.
You got it.
No, thank you very much. I have submitted my report to each of you, have it on the dais there, and I'll just touch on a couple of highlights that we have in here. First, with people, we have a couple of new positions open right now. These are annual ones that we do. It's our seasonal labor positions. So we're always interested in bringing in people to do some seasonal work at the Marina and for Public Works. This is a good opportunity for any college students, high school students, anyone looking for a summer job, or others that might be interested in working for the city. We have two different openings that have now closed, and I've noted what the process is at this point. I actually was privileged to sit in on the Senior Center's program coordinator interviews last week. It was a very fun process getting to meet the 7 different candidates that came in. And the thing that I was really appreciative of is you don't realize how much work HR does till you sit in on that process and see the amount of coordination. We had Skype calls, we had people coming in to visit. We had we had a volunteer actually come in from the Senior Center and sit in on the panel. We very much appreciated that outside, sit there. But it was really a good process, and I think we have some really good candidates that'll bring some good skills to the city. Item number 4 on here, under people I've mentioned, our city council retreat on April 6th. That's at 10 o'clock at Skagit Valley College. And we're to the point now, if you have any titles or anything you would like to put on the agenda, please let myself or Nicole know, and we'll make sure that we start getting that agenda compiled for you. Moving to money, the first thing I'd like to do is thank Ms. Munns. As she just mentioned a few moments ago, there are a lot of bills and things going on down in Olympia right now with her activity with AWC and MRSC down there, the Municipal Research Service Center. We always know we have a finger on the pulse, and she's contacting me almost daily as those needs are, which is a good thing, to keep track on those. I've listed out 4 different items that are the main ones we're tracking right now. We have our capital budget request, the Marina Tidelands lease. There's a proposed change on lodging taxes. We're tracking that. And there's a small cell deployment, which is a very technical bill that's going through right now. I've just listed for you what the House and Senate bills are for that and where they're at as of this afternoon. I was on the Bill Tracker website seeing how those are doing. Under land and projects, I just have listed a few of the miscellaneous items that are going on right now. One thing I'd like to call your attention to is number 4 and 5, kind of goes with it there, is the Whidbey Island Marathon. Just a quick update on registration. Total right now, we're at 1,441. The total event last year was about 1,500. So with 5.5 weeks to go, we're still very close to surpassing last year's number. I actually broke that down into each of the different category races. As you can see, we're almost double marathon participants compared to last year. All the other ones were already past last year's at this time, except for the 5K and the 1K. So if there are any young ones or anyone that would be interested in coming down and running and getting a shirt and a medal down there on that day, please do so. And that's a really fun family event for everybody, and we're looking forward to that. So those are the items that I wanted to highlight from my comment list. And as the mayor mentioned, we have Brett here tonight to give us our wastewater treatment plant update.
Good evening. Time for our project update. We are hitting a milestone today. Lately, the most noisy activity has been the ground improvements, doing stone columns again. We also did, in addition to stone columns, we did some grout injection. Next to the pump station, we couldn't drive the stone columns because the vibration might break some of our pipes, so we actually did a grout injection. This was kind of interesting. We drilled down and pumped the grout in and used it for ground stabilization. But all those blue machines are all done now, and Malcolm's picking up their toys and taking them home tomorrow. In terms of design, we're continuing to work on the 30% windjammer plans. We plan on having those plans available around the end of this month. We hope to give you a preview of that at the March 22nd workshop. We did distribute the summary of the open house public comments we have. If you did not receive a copy, let me know. And we're continuing to work on our skated development. We have a big meeting this week. Construction-wise, we're continuing to place concrete. We are ahead of schedule and below labor estimates, and some are slowed down due to the weather. The last month, we've actually, in the last 2-3 weeks, have picked up quite a bit. So it's starting to smile more. Kind of a milestone is of the 12,566 yards that we have intended, we're above 50% of those. So that's a nice place to be. Like I said, we did continue to complete the stone columns, and we're working away at GMP number 11, though it's not as obvious right now. Funding, there's nothing real new there. We hope to get our new loan approved by the legislature, and we are chasing windjammer opportunities. Upcoming major decision points. Today we did, as part of the consent agenda, did do the PSC for industrial power. We will be bringing in a GMP number 12 for odor control facilities on the March 21st meeting. And as we said, we will have a workshop to talk about windjammer on the 22nd. Schedule-wise, we're still right on schedule. We are upgrading the overall project schedule, what we call Oak Harbor 27, and we're very happy with our progress to date, and we're starting to see hopefully some shifts in the right direction. Of course, if you want to get a hold of us, you can get us on the internet at oakharborcleanwater.org, call us at 914-7000 or our extensions, email us at treatmentplant@oakharbor.org. Our next drop-in is Monday the 13th, or of course you can make an appointment with us. Any questions? Oh, I've got one other item. If you remember back in GMP number, we had an allowance for wood frame construction because we didn't have a bid. We've actually put it out back out for bidding again. And so if somebody local interested in chasing some of that wood frame construction, please tell them to get in touch with us and we can get them into the bid list.
Okay, questions? Anyone? Input, comments? Okay. Yes, Councilor Survey.
Not on this, but I had a question for Dr. Merriman.
Okay.
Just looking at the numbers, I'm just curious, we also got a receipt here, as of February 28th, the income statement for the marathon. I'm looking at the participant fees. If our numbers are well ahead of last year, we've surpassed the total registrations in the half and the full? Or is this the same date last year, not total registrations are on here?
The numbers on there, the total registrations, that is this time last year. There's 1,000 and something, let me grab that for you.
So like number 5, full marathon 2016, 137, that wasn't 137 total, that's just to
Total.
date.
In that section where I've itemized by each race, the 2016 number is the total from last year.
So wouldn't our revenue is lagging, why wouldn't our revenue be higher if we've surpassed the entrance? Do we change the fee that much?
No, I would have to look at the timing on the date and when the cash was submitted. Remember, they do hold that for up to a few days.
Okay,
So the February cutoff versus today's cutoff.
okay,
There could just be a timing difference there.
all right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else? Any questions? Okay. Okay, now we will move on to our Section 7, ordinances and resolutions. As I said earlier, we have one ordinance, one resolution, and I will give the public an opportunity to speak during that time. And if you choose to speak during a scheduled public hearing or meeting, please sign in or just come to the podium when I call. To ensure comments are recorded properly, state your name, please, clearly into the microphone, and limit any comments to 3 minutes. And our first is ordinance number 1788, sidewalk repair and construction, Oak Harbor Municipal Code 11-12. And we have our city engineer, Joe Stoll, with us tonight.
Mayor, council members, thank you for having me here tonight. I think you guys just couldn't resist having me up here to talk to you, so they just gave me a softball tonight. This one is a revision to our code. I don't have a presentation, so don't worry about that. It's real short and sweet. We have our chapter 11.12 is sidewalk repair and construction. It was outdated. WCIA did a review of some of our code, suggested we make some changes, and we have done that, simplified it a bit, and it refers back to other code sections that make more sense. Pretty straightforward. It's a series of things you saw on the consent agenda. There was some other cleanup in the code. And the next council meeting, we're looking to do even another one that has to do with right-of-way use. So it's just trying to clean up our code as we go. Now, take some time to do that. If you have any questions, I'll take them.
Okay, first off, any questions from the public? Seeing none, how about council? Anybody? Yes, Councilor Munns.
Thank you. Mr. Stowell, on page 107, top paragraph, duty, burden, and expense of construction, reconstruction shall be devolved upon the property directly abutting upon such portion. I found that in a couple of places. So you're in a home over by the high school, it's an old neighborhood, something happens to the sidewalk, just years, does that mean the homeowner has to pay to repair that?
Traditionally, that's the case. However, quite often, Public Works does help with that.
Okay. But if the city or someone, construction damage it or changes it, then they would repair it or fix it?
That's correct.
Okay, just wanted to get it straight, thank you.
Okay, Councilor Servadius.
Thank you. I'm all for brevity and efficiency, but normally we would see the legislative edits, et cetera, that have happened here. Are there,
It was a wholesale replacement.
okay, I see that we repeal, or the first section 1 and section 2, but it's, what do we really need to know here? What changed of significance?
I'll go ahead and take that one if you don't mind. So actually, we don't usually show the legislative draft changes when we're replacing the whole chapter. We scrubbed the entire chapter and replaced it with something much simpler. The old code, in essence, said the same thing, but it did leave out some of the requirements that are in the RCW, and there were also sections of our current code that are inconsistent with some case law that came down many years ago, but we hadn't yet changed our code. So this is a complete replacement of the old code. It's much shorter, it's much simpler, and it just refers back to the RCW.
Okay.
Other questions? Input? What would the council like to do? Yes, Councilor Wassinger.
Sure. I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 1788, repealing OHMC 11.12 entitled Sidewalk Repair and Construction and creating a new chapter 11.12 entitled Sidewalk Repair and Construction.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Wassinger and Munns, and it's exactly matches our recommended action in our book here. Anybody got any discussion further? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, Mr. Stoll. And we are on to our last item for the evening, resolution number 1706, amending Schedule D of the master fee schedule regarding Marina proposed rate increases. And I see we have our harbor master, Mr. Sublett. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. I'm here to present Resolution 1706, which, if approved, will amend Schedule D of the master fee schedule, and that relates directly to the marina fees. I have a small presentation to give you, which will give you a little bit of marina history. It'll show you how we came to the rates we're proposing, and it'll highlight a few of those rates. So as you know, our marina is about 420 slips. We also offer storage sheds, dry boat storage, and it was built back in 1974. We are an enterprise fund. That means that we're self-supported, and we rely on the revenue from the businesses that we have down there, the moorage, the sheds, the fuel, guest moorage, things of those nature. There's a million things to do down there. We're open to the public, and there's lots of events, the hydroplanes, race week, things of that nature. We have clubs, the Dragon Boat Club, Power Squadron, and the Yacht Club. We have a little bit of reserves built up. We have about 3 months worth of operating reserves. We have a bond reserve. We have an equipment rental reserve. And then we have a real small amount for capital improvements. So how did we get to the proposed rates? Well, we surveyed a bunch of marinas in the area. And then we also added Des Moines, which is the only other city-owned marina in the state. And we took the average for the same services that we offer, and then we compared it to ours. And we found that our rates are far below the average of these marinas. In some cases, we were 20 to 30% below the average of these costs. So our new proposed rates, most are slightly lower than that average, but a couple are at the average or just above the average. A big consideration we had when choosing the proposed rates was, what are we comparing it to? What do the other marinas have that we don't have? What are their amenities? Are they close to shopping, downtown, entertainment? Are they close to the prime cruising areas up in the San Juans? So we took those into account as well. We met 3 times with the Marina Advisory Committee, and we went through all of the rates and discussed each and every one. They do support the rate increase. It's also interesting to note that we have not had a rate increase in the last 5 years. So one of the ones that we're proposing to raise is the moorage rate. We're proposing a 3% increase on the moorage rate. When you look at the total moorage bill, there's several components that are in that. You have your moorage, you have your dredge, you have your environmental compliance, and your tax. This specifically affects just that moorage piece. We're also proposing that the environmental compliance fee go from $1.10 to $5. And that is one of the pieces that's built into the moorage, into the shed bill, and into the dry storage. It's interesting that we decided not to touch the small boat contract and leave that at $55 because the hoist was part of that, and we no longer have the hoist to offer. So we'll still have that $55 fee for those boats 26 feet and less. The storage sheds, they're currently at $106.64, and we propose that they go to $130. Along with dry storage, and that's the area where the boats are parked on the outskirts of our parking lot. We propose that that goes from $50.72 to $52.24. Our fuel, and fuel is a big attractant at the marina. We get people coming from all over to buy fuel from us. So we wanted to be really careful for that. And we looked at raising the rate from the invoice cost plus 40 cents to the invoice cost plus 50 cents. And when you compare that to the fuel surveys, and there's a bunch of independent companies that do marine fuel surveys, at the 50-cent mark will still be far less than most of the marinas in our area. And we're still going to offer the discounts. We currently offer, if you purchase over 100 gallons, you get a nickel off per gallon. And if you stay the night with us, and this is a huge one, you get 20 cents off per gallon up to the amount you paid for a night of guest moorage. So it's conceivable you could stay the night with us for free. Guest moorage, we currently have 2 rates. We have a summer rate and a winter rate. The summer rate is 89 cents and the winter rate is 69 cents per foot per night. And we're proposing that to go to $1 per foot per night year round. We're also asking that the guest electricity go from $3 per night to $4 per night. Some of the other miscellaneous items that we're proposing is the liveaboard fee going from $60 to $61.80 per month. Gate cards going from $5 plus tax to $10 plus tax. Our hourly labor rate going from $46.30 per hour to $75 per hour. And that only comes into play when we're repairing something that one of our tenants damaged. Most of the case, it's an insurance deal. And then our late charge is currently 1%, and we propose that get moved to 3% per month. So the recommended action is that you approve Resolution 1706, amending Schedule D of the Master Fee Schedule, and adopt Ordinance Number 1796, repealing Oak Harbor Municipal Code Section 6.36.028, and amending Oak Harbor Municipal Code Section 6.36.036. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Sublett. Before we bring it to council, I'll open it up to public, see if there's anybody here who'd like to comment in attendance. Yes.
Yes, my name's Mr. Bone. I've been a 15-year resident down there at the marina. And I myself, I'm on Social Security, and those type of rate changes for their storage fees is something I can't take. You know, I'm just saying that's $30 per unit, and I have 2 units down there, and I've had both of them for 10 to 15 years. And I was seeing if there was some type of provision they could make for seniors or low-income people that would help, you know, take some of those burdens from us. You know, I know not many people are here to speak up for that. And I think it does, you know, really matter, and it does. You know, this is a retirement community. And anybody down there, it would immensely help them if we could have that taken into consideration. And that's pretty much what I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, other input? Yes, Mr. Hewlett. Mr. Hewlett chairs our Marina Advisory Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. When we were going through the deliberations, I'm the current chair of the Marina Advisory Committee for the city. We had a lot of consideration for the comment the previous speaker brought up. We recognize that we have an aging facility, and our operations are very much focused on maintaining what we have. As Mr. Sublett mentioned, our capital reserve is $35,000, which in the marina environment, that's one broken bolt, and you can spend 35 grand on it. So we felt the consensus of the committee was very strongly that we needed to increase fees across the board. We realized that those fees don't affect every person. For instance, I don't have a storage shed, but I do have a boat and moorage, that sort of thing. And these are pretty modest increases. We're still below the market, and we recognize that it may create a hardship for someone, but our focus has to be on making the marina financially viable, not only today, but out into the future, and that, frankly, is a huge struggle. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hewlett. Okay, other public input? Okay, seeing none, bring it to the council. And looking for input or action. Yes, Councillor Heisen.
Thank you. I respectfully disagree with Mr. Hewlett and agree with our public speaker. The only thing that jumped out at me on this new fee sheet was the monthly cost for the storage unit, because some things are going up less than $2, and then that one goes up $25 a month. And I recently was on a search for a storage unit, and that price is below market for the size. I get that almost everybody has a waiting list. So in terms of supply and demand, then I understand where that number came from. But if we're talking market, I mean, those units are not insulated, they're not waterproof, they're not really comparable to other places out there, although they are sizable. So I think every other thing in this fee schedule made sense to me. I thought it was reasonable. It's nothing that's going to really jump out at somebody and say, oh my gosh, that's huge, other than the 75 an hour. But if you're fixing somebody else's oops, then I get that. So with that one exception, I think this makes a lot of sense, and I appreciate that the committee did a lot of work and spent a lot of time going through this. And there is a method to the madness. I understand that, but that's my feedback.
Okay. Other, yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Sublett, the $35,000 reserved for capital projects, and I'm glad I'm seeing some money there in the reserve, so that the city will not repeat itself. For the last 30 years, the marina didn't save anything, and city has to issue a bond for this major project. For this fee increases, to make allowance to put some more in that reserve, so save for the next 30 years?
We hope so, but this increase basically will just move us up to what it currently costs to operate the marina. As the 5 years have passed that we haven't had an increase, everything else has gone up. So we've fallen behind the curve, but it is our hope that part of this will go into the reserves.
Okay, hopefully it will happen some in the near future.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Councillor Munns.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Sublett, I know a few people have either sold their boats or taken them out because and it's before this rate increase, because they no longer could afford it because of extenuating circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many that was. Have you gotten a feel for, if the rates go through on the storage, how many that would affect?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's tough. We're an enterprise, so you have to make the money and you have to keep up, or else we lose the whole facility. I mean, if you don't keep up repairs, then you have nothing to rent. Or I was just curious on that aspect.
So when we, 5 years ago, when we had our last increase, we had a major amount of people that left the marina, and that was part because of the increase, but also because of the downturn in boating. So in the last 5 years, we've really brought that occupancy back up. We're currently at about 73% occupancy, and each year we keep to creep up, creep up, creep up, creep up. So what we're doing is working well and building our occupancy and keeping people around. Over the past few weeks, when this rate increase, proposed rate increase was announced, I heard from very few people, and it was surprising that most of them were for the increase. They said, you need to do this to keep this marina going. Other than that, it was very quiet, which tells me that people may not have been too concerned with it. I heard very, very few negative comments. Most of it was positive.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Other input? What would the council like to do? Councilor Servadius.
Thank you, Mayor. I would move to approve Resolution 17-06, amending Schedule D of Marina of the Master Fee Schedule, and adopt Ordinance Number 1796, repealing Oak Harbor Municipal Code Section 6.36.028 and amending Oak Harbor Municipal Code Section 6.36.036.
Second. We've got a motion and a second, Servadius and Campbell, to approve the resolution as is up there on the screen. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Sublett. And I guess seeing no further business this evening, we are adjourned. That's